had to speak today. There was no question. I had to speak. And it's not because of the cute poetry going back and forth between Faye and Donna. No. It was a perfect storm. 3 main reasons. Number 1, my speech today is about leadership. Okay, not a very strong reason. But number 2, the theme of our meeting is relativity. When you combine leadership with relativity, what do you come up with? I'll tell you. Today, September 26, 2018, is my father's 100th birthday. So when you combine leadership, relativity, and 100th birthday, I thought it would be appropriate if I told you some of the leadership lessons that I learned from my father over the years. Sound good? My father was born in the coal country of northeastern Pennsylvania, son of 2 immigrant Ukrainians. Now, they didn't have a lot of creature comforts up there. In fact, they had no indoor plumbing. My father was born in the house. One thing they would look forward to all the time is the Sears catalog. Remember those Sears catalogs, big, thick book? Do you know why? They kept it in the outhouse. One leadership lesson you learned right away? You learn to make do with what you have. Unfortunately, my grandfather passed away when my father was 5 years old. But fortunately, my grandmother remarried again pretty quickly, and they moved down to Philadelphia. Unfortunately, my step-grandfather passed away when my dad was a teenager. Suddenly, my father found himself a teenage breadwinner. He had to step into the patriarch role, something he filled very, very ably. He would do whatever jobs he could do while still going to school, and every penny he would give to his mother to support the household. The lesson you learned from that, I'll quote the late science fiction author John Stapleton: "You are what you do when it counts." When he started dating my mother, he raised more than a few eyebrows. You see, he was Ukrainian and she was Polish. And back then, these 2 sides didn't get along. But my father said, doesn't matter. The leadership lesson there is stand against the world if it's very important to you. And I'm glad he did. Because before long, myself and my 3 brothers came along. And my dad, he wasn't your typical dad. I never played catch with him, never went to a football game. In fact, he did none of the things that you usually see a TV dad do. But he did a whole bunch of other things. For example, starting at a very early age, he schooled myself and my brothers in the industrial arts. We learned things like electronics, plumbing, carpentry. In fact, yes, John, this wooden tie my father made, I wear it as honor today. When we went on vacations, we never went to a hotel. I can't remember once going to a hotel. Instead, we go camping. We go weeks at a time, thousands of miles away. Great time. And of course, when we joined the Boy Scouts, my brothers and I, he joined the Boy Scouts too. He was their transportation chair. That meant before every camping trip, he would get on the phone. Remember how you and he'd have to call all the other parents to see if he could get somebody to give us a ride. I'd sit there and listen to him on the phone for hours sometimes, trying to cajole people to please give these people a ride. Well, there are several leadership lessons there. Number 1, tenacity is a virtue. Number 2, the world is what you make it. Step forward. And number 3, there's nothing more important than quality time with kids. With all these great things I can say about my dad, he was human. He had his faults. For example, he smoked. So no surprise, my brothers and I, we smoked too. But of course, we eventually quit. And we eventually convinced Dad to quit. Kind of a reverse leadership role there. A few other human traits. Oh, the one time I saw my dad cry. We were having kibasi for dinner, and he loves horseradish. we had mashed potatoes. And he put the horseradish too close to the mashed potatoes. And he took a forkful of what he thought was potatoes. Only time that I ever saw my dad cry. He had a strange sense of humor as well. He used to carry his little picture around of one of the least attractive women on the planet. And he showed me and say, "Do you like my wife?" And whenever my wife would go to the beauty parlor, he'd say, "Mission impossible." And when I was 7 years old on my birthday, he came home with a plain brown box. About that size, about that thick. He says, "Do you want to open it?" Yeah. It was a toilet seat for the house. It's like, Dad. And people wonder why I turned out the way I turned out. And speaking of which, when I was a teenager, of course, me and my dad, we had words from time to time. One time he was going on the road, he goes, "What makes you like that?" He says, "I hope your kids grow up just like you." And I look back and say, "Me too, Dad, me too." They're the kind of words you live to regret. Well, eventually, grandkids came. And when they did, my mother became Granny, and he became Papa. And now the great-grandkids are coming along, and she became Great-Granny, and he wasn't Great Papa. We said, you're okay, Papa. It's been almost 20 years now he's been gone. But the things that he taught us over the years, they still live in my brothers and I. All those leadership lessons, simple things, like don't get greedy. And my favorite, any apprentice can do it with the right tools. It takes a craftsman to do it with the wrong tools. When it came to being a father, my dad was a true craftsman. Dad, this is for you.